Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is Tuesday, October 15th, 2019. We're already halfway through October. I can't believe that we are already halfway through October. This is just absolute insanity how quickly the time flies by. If you're watching the VOD on YouTube, please be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, as well as head on over to twitch.tv/otakushowboat to leave a follow to be notified when I go live on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to approximately 1 p.m. US Eastern Time. I would love to see you all live on the stream so I can interact with everyone. You can also follow me on Twitter at Otaku Showboat, visit my website at otakushowboat.com, as well as help to support my continued existence on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushowboat. You can also help support Pyanodon's mods development at patreon.com/Pyanodon. You can also, if you would like, to have live updates, as well as if you would like to take part in growing and developing the Otaku Showboat community, you can come over and join my Discord server, the link of which is bit.ly or bit.ly/Otaku Discord, or click the link in the video description below. If you're watching live on Twitch, you can just do !Discord and get that link available to you. I'm the only one currently in the Discord, so bear in mind, when I say take part in growing and developing, I mean growing and developing from literal square one. So, today's question of the day is, what do you think of the module slot changes that were just released for Pyanodon's mods the other day? This was on Sunday, right after, during my stream on Sunday, that Pyanodon released an update, or maybe a little bit after the stream, where, module slots on Pi coal processing buildings from Mark 1 through 4 have been adjusted, and it's better than it was. Better than it was. Not as strong as the mod I was using, but I'll take it. I mean, I'll take it. I think the mod I'm using still has an effect on the current save file, but the base module slots are a bit different depending on the actual building you're talking about. So some buildings do have fewer module slots at Mark II now across the board, so I think I lost some modules in some setups. I'm absolutely certain that the methanol reactors no longer go from 3 to 6 from Mark 1 to Mark 2 with the current setup. So yeah, that's a thing that's happened. That is a thing that has happened. Let's see. As for the general updates to start off the stream today, my YouTube videos across the board now have cards linking to the Patreon, just little card notices top corner to remind folks, hey, if you'd like to support my continued existence, you can help out by becoming a patron on Patreon. So all the videos will have that, and all of the videos should now technically have end screen elements at the end of literally every single one of my videos, including all the ones that are now marked as private. I was able to do all of that work across 1,660 some odd videos, thanks to the power of the free version of the vidIQ utility. vidIQ is a browser extension, basically, I'm using it on Chrome, that lets you do mass copy paste of cards and end screens across videos. It's actually really good, which reminds me I need to add the card and end screen to the video I've just uploaded, the video that will go live later today, which is the zinc processing tutorial. The zinc processing tutorial is next. As I had said, I think, in the previous stream. So, zinc is next. That one is about 30 minutes long. Just a few seconds shy of 30 minutes long. Pretty much with zinc, its outside inputs are all things we've talked about before. Things that we have seen are already set up, so it ended up being really smooth to go through it because I didn't have to spend a lot of time talking about how to make these outside inputs when I can just say, hey, if you watched the Chromium video, you already know how to make most of this. So, yeah, that was zinc. The one that will go up in 2 days from now, the one that I will record tomorrow, is nickel. And then after nickel, we get into military science, followed by rayon / batteries, rayon into batteries, and then molybdenum, because you need laser turrets for molybdenum mining, which is why I need to cover mil science and batteries, rayon for batteries, before talking about molybdenum, because you need to have batteries for laser turrets for molybdenum mines, and you need mil tech to unlock laser turrets. So, with that, I think we will just get into the game today. Yeah, we will get into the game rather quickly today. There's really not too much else to talk about, because what else I have to talk about has to do with things that I have done on the stream save off screen. So I do believe that I had mentioned last time that I was going to, at the very least, finish up the high-grade zinc setup that we were working on last time. I said that I would finish it off screen, and I have done so. I have also done something else. And once the game loads, we will have a wonderful look at that. I will also note that as of the day that I am streaming this, Streamlabs has updated. We finally have the, combined live and editor page. So now we have the feed on the editor, which, yeah, that change I have been looking forward to, for a while now, so that's a good change. I like having the editor with the feed so that I can make any adjustments on the fly to the actual scene that I'm on without having to change screens entirely. Anyway, loading up 87.4. Today is, of course, stream day 88. Oh boy. Oh boy, getting closer to that mythical 100. Getting very close to that mythical 100. So, here's high-grade zinc processing into lots of plates. Lots of plates. From 15 per second in to about 35 out is my calculation of if everything is operating at 100% fully through the whole process. I don't know if that's actually correct math, but it's math that I came up with. It's, yeah, about 35-ish. per second on the 15 per second of ore in to high grade casting output. These chests are currently full. Now, there is something about this that is a little bit annoying. Besides, like, the outside inputs. Like, I made a little bit of extra... I made extra grease. I made my grease all the way up here. So here's grease. A nice little grease setup. I made it here, and I had to bring it all the way down. All the way down here. On the grease. So that was fun. That was fun. I also brought over some soda ash that I'm already making. Of course, brought the heavy oil over. Brought crylic acid and Aerofloat 15 and creosote in. All of which are already used on the chromium pulp 7 processing chain. So that was already done for me, it just was routing the things over. What's annoying here about this is this stuff. Zinc overflow. I am trying to logic my way through this. I think I have this wrong. Because I did end up with a deadlock because of this overflow. I need to actually do an overflow valve. I need to actually do the overflow valve on the quote primary output here, and I think that that solves the problem. What does that do? That means that if I back up on anything in the further system, it's going to use this overflow preferentially over this overflow, which is exactly what I need, and that would stop any sort of issues. That would stop any sort of issues just by having the overflow valve here. Because this will only allow flow through if this is below 80%. Alright, so that fixes that little niggling issue, I think. So that is beautiful and glorious high-grade zinc. About 35 out, if I need it. It is absolutely getting used for some zinc acetate. What else did I do off-screen besides this setup here on the glorious grease? Well, I did high-grade titanium. I did ground bored high-grade titanium, and what I did was I just designed this off-screen, and then I pasted it in over here. Sideways. It's pasted sideways, so if it looks a little weird, that would be why. I designed it in a different orientation than how I pasted it. But this is high-grade titanium that we've got going on now. As it turns out, by my calculations, if this was all operating with all of the outside inputs full 100% capacity, unless I've mucked up something with my math, which I'm assuming that I have somewhere mucked up something with the math. It's like 57, a little over 57 plates out for a 15 in. It's like 15 in is like close to 60. It's not 60 exactly out. And I've seen all of these casting units on already. They're not currently all on, but we can see we've got already most of them here on occasion. So, yeah, it's like, it's 50 some odd out on the titanium, and I'm actually filling all of these beautiful provider chests now. So we've got titanium. I was having a bit of an issue with the amount of titanium that was available to me, and I took care of it. This is the phase of the game, by the way. Every time I've made a science, started making a science, I have spent time scaling up my raw resource production, and since we've just recently gotten to purple science this past week, this going forward is going to be more time spent on scaling things up. So, thinking about it, what am I not currently, like, ground boring or getting out of, like, oil or tailings or stuff like that? And aluminium, molybdenum, and niobium are, like, the only three that are left, I think. Those are the only three that are left, and then I have to go up to high grade on tin processing at some point, but in all actuality, currently the tin is filling all of my boxes. So the tin is actually good right now. For now. It'll need to go up to high grade at some point soon, but for now it's fine. Today, however, I wanted to do gold. Now, I have designed something for gold already. Did I put it in my thingy here? I do think so. Yes, gold processing. So we're going to go up and place down my wonderful blueprint here for the gold processing. It'll take time to actually build this, and it needs some logistics work to feed some of these outside inputs in. The most logistically painful will be the hydrogen peroxide, because that's another big pipeline from the top left corner of the base being brought down to here. So the question of the day is, where the hell am I going to put this thing? Conveniently, I do have a number of 1x1s right above my chromium processing. So that's where I'm going to end up putting this, is up here in these 1x1 squares. Right here. It fits just fine. All of these are Mark II machines. It should be enough to process all of my chromite solution, or whatever the heck it's called, from in here. This stuff being processed right here. Chromite solution. So, no longer will I be using this building. I will instead have to route it up to the thingy. I want to keep things moving here, though, so I'll do all of the logistics work and such, and then hook up the chromite solution. But this is gold. This is glorious gold. I did do the tutorial video on gold along with chromium. So the chromium video is where I cover the gold processing chain. This is very set. just like niobium and molybdenum. Once you have access to it, which I finally had picked up that tech. Oh yeah, that's right. So as it turns out... Yeah, so as it turns out, these little things aren't really working for me. Oh, thank you for the follow, Immortal Sniper. Thank you so much for that follow. As it turns out, these things aren't getting me through the whole of the night, and I do need just more. I need more. M-O-A-R. More. Hey, the Ave! Thank you so much for having the time. So I need power. So I've set up a new thingy for more power. More power. Must have more power. So this will eventually be like one some odd amount gigawatts. It's going to be a fair amount of power coming in. Oh hey, look, we're going up to 4 now. Yeah, that's a lot. Never enough power. Yeah. I need to get better power, I think, at some point. I don't know. How does beaconed power look? Is that like even remotely viable? Because this is huge. This is huge. H-Y-U-G-E. Huge. Oh hey, they built it. Couple of electrolyzers missing, but yeah. Anyway, I need to get this hydrogen peroxide down here, and that's going to be the biggest pain, as well as some glorious chlorine. That's what needs to be brought in. Those are the only 2 that need to be brought in. Everything else is being done locally. Yes, it is viable. Yeah, for the, well, it's not just the combustion mixture output, it's everything involved in making the combustion mixture. So things like beaconing the mushrooms, beaconing the electrolyzers, which is going to be a massive pain in the butt. That's going to be the biggest energy spike, but H2 power good with beacons. Yeah, that's what I was hoping for, because I would very much like to reduce the overall size of this thing right here. This thing can be made smaller through the power of beacons, but it will need to be offset by more solar panels, though. How does the footprint savings of beacons compare to the increased amount of solar panels required to feed that power? That would be a thing to also bear in mind. I would much rather design something myself. Immortal. Alright, so let's go get additional chlorine. Now, this will just be... How is my chlorine doing? Can I just, like, copy this? Hello, kitty. You moving? He's leaving. Or something. Alright, let's get this chlorine first. Try not to get too distracted here. Oh, he's just repositioning. Oh, please, please, please. Thank you for going all the way across. Oh yeah, I did some adjustment here as well off screen. Right in here, this is no longer actually doing anything if it ever did. If it ever really did do anything, it's no longer going to be doing anything on this. I've brought in a different supply of organic solvent here. So really, this can just die. It can die. I also cut off the supply of the, Huh? Right, I guess I don't need the acetone there either. Alright, fine. This is okay. Everything is awesome and fine and good. Right, I had a thing for methanol somewhere around in here that was doing methanol from Nextlit and organic matter, methanol and syngas, and I was bringing the syngas up to that organic solvent right there. So I got rid of it. I didn't want that. I didn't need that drain. I already had brought a better supply of methanol from further away in the base down to this location anyway, so I just hooked it up to the primary methanol supply. Massive desync between voice and video. All right, let's see about. All right. Is that a little bit better? Or is it still, like, off? All right, is that better? Or is it Twitch being Twitch? Is it better or is it still, like, off? Because there are plenty of things that are... Alright, window, reload, fixed it. Alright. I did a couple restart things out on my end too, so yeah, it's should be better. Yeah, sometimes Twitch is Twitch and desyncs, and then sometimes it is on my end. I'll check my local recording afterwards to see if there's any issues there that came up, but yeah. Because my concern is because the Streamlabs OBS literally updated today, so there might be issues related to the Streamlabs OBS update. But sometimes Twitch is just Twitch. Power. How the heck am I gonna route this chlorine? This way. I need to get it, like, here. From here. Yeah, this is pretty saturated. This is pretty saturated. And you know what? I'm not using the acetone anymore, so I can clear the acetone pipe. At least I'm not using the acetone here. The heavy oil goes down because of this tailings pipe. It's because of the tailings pipe. That's why it shifts. I can bring this up here, so that's about as far as I need to go. This would all require massive amounts of adjustments, because once I move this, I mean, I need to have a way to send it south here. So either way, it will need to end up here to make it easier to send it south. If I have it here, well, like, it's just going to adjust its lane, like, down here somewhere, either way. Now, instead, I'll take this line. I mean, I could just remove a RoboPort. I'm not afraid of removing the occasional RoboPort. This is where I'm going up? Yes, this is, already. Already. We are moving up. Moving on up. Moving on up to that deluxe apartment in the sky. Alright. There's the chlorine. Now the hard part, which is the wonderful and glorious hydrogen peroxide. Oh boy. Kitty, you're coming back? Yeah, alright. Hydrogen peroxide is being made all the way up here. For lithium peroxide. That is its primary purpose up here, is for that. Is that using all of this anthraquinone? Is one filter literally capable of using all of this? Interesting. So I need to bring this from here. Down all the way. All the glorious way to here. Right here. So, how is this aligned? Does this work out well enough? Yes. I'm going to go up, over, all the way, and then up again. Probably up here. Or here, take my highway. There is no rail. Rail is not a thing that exists. What are these trains of which you speak? I know not trains. No such thing as trains, only pipe and belt and robots. Pipe, belt, and bots, that's all that exists here. So this is going to take a while. This is going to be a bit of a hike. Especially since not all of this is paved yet. By the way, just having a look at the FPS UPS meter up in top right. Yeah, that's with all of my system memory available right now. Joy. That's with my system running better. Running better overall than previously. We're in the 40s. So, alright, sure. I'm gonna sneeze. I actually hit the mute button in time. Oh, joy. So bring this across all the way and then up. Thank you. Oh hey, I had the exact same idea with kerosene. Hope that doesn't become an issue later. So that means that I can actually use my kerosene as a guide going forward. It's always convenient when that happens. Really? I wonder how these lengths would work out if I had actually done this at... Oh, that's not good. Right. Well, I guess you're gonna be aligned differently going forward. I'm not gonna bother doing that along the entire line. I could, but not gonna. Still a long way to go. At least we're paved in this location. Oh. Hi, molten chromium. You are ever so slightly in the way. Hi, tailings. You are ever so slightly in the way. I guess up was not the option. Down is the option. The only viable option. Oh hey, we're now going to be aligned with the kerosene. Until there. Hey, we're aligned again. Still a bit further to go. I want this line, which will come the intersection immediately after the paved intersection. Okay. This one? Yes, this is the intersection. Oh boy, this is... Hello, robots, bringing me additional underground pipes. Highly appreciated. By the way, I completely regret when I made my niobium processing video not at all discussing the supreme power that is the niobium underground pipes. Like, I didn't even talk about the niobium pipes outside of a passing mention that you need them to make the vanilla oil refineries. Like, really? How did I forget to talk about the pipes that you are going to use for the entirety of the rest of the game once you have them? With the insane underground distance compared to iron. Like, how did I miss that? Well, it was a video about the overall processing more than anything else. This is going to be annoying. There. Nice, easy solution. And we're here, we have arrived. Alright, there's the hydrogen peroxide. Now to run all the way back from whence we came. And actually hook up the chromite solution. And once we do that, there's gold. There's gold! Glorious gold. Oh yeah, so one other thing to note. I set up high-grade titanium. There is one thing new that had to be set up for the high-grade titanium that I haven't mentioned yet. Technically two things new, but one of which we know about, or at least should know about, because I've discussed it. Well, I've discussed both of these things in my tutorials before, but this is new. The sodium chlorate from salt. The actual amount needed here to process 15 ore per second is, like, incredibly minuscule. It's just fine, this setup. It feeds it more than enough than it needs. But the other thing that it needs is biofilm. Again, incredibly small amounts of biofilm, but it's non-zero amounts of biofilm. The actual amount of pulp 4 going into this is, like, incredibly minuscule. It's incredibly minuscule, the actual amount of pulp 4 that goes into this. Or at the very least, it's tiny. It's tiny. The amount that goes in here. So, it ends up requiring a lot of stuff to make biofilm, but the actual amount of biofilm needed for this is really small. So that's the new thing. And I decided I would make the organic matter locally to feed this machine. Sadly, you cannot use productivity modules on biofilm. For some reason, you cannot use modules, productivity modules on biofilm. So that's a thing. That, oh hey, tech! Wow, it happened. I can officially make assembling machine 3s. If I had super alloy and special small parts. I have neither of these things. Neither of these things. I think there's a delay on my voice. I don't know if it's exactly aligned, but anyway, I'm just, like, looking at the meter for the sound from the mic, and it looks ever so slightly delayed. I'll have to do all this checking later. What is the next tech? Probably worker robot cargo size would be ideal. I'm tempted by Keragen, but I can't make the retorters yet. Like, Keratin is actually pretty amazing. I don't know if you know this, but Keratin is actually pretty amazing. If you make it out of drill heads. Only if you make it out of drill heads, because I like the concept of like this shale oil, gasoline, crude oil, natural gas just on demand with I mean the most expensive is if you need shale oil, but you don't really need shale oil to complete the game, I don't think. So it's like, oh yeah. It's like, oh yeah, it's easy gas, easy crude, easy natural gas. The problem is the retorters to actually make the keratin, which that's going to need circuit 3s and 4s through the form of intelligent units. Super alloy, graphene with aerogel, heavy fermion. Because, I mean, we have the pipes, we have the bricks, we have the nextlit, we have the glass, we have the super steel. We don't have the special small parts, the circuit board 3s, the intelligent units, the heavy fermion material, the carbon aerogel, the graphene rolls, or the super alloy. So, why pick up that tech now when I can do absolutely nothing with it? Similarly with picking up the tech for the high-tech robots, it's like, well, I don't have circuit 4s, I don't have special small parts, I don't have paramagnetic material, I don't have superconductor servo mechanisms. I don't have harmonic absorbers or diamagnetic material or super alloy. So it's like, well, why even bother? Of course, you unlock a number of these things with that tech, but anyway. I'm picking up cargo size, and then I'm probably going to pick up the stack inserter capacity +1, and the next one that's another +1 after that. The biofilm is a little bit of a drain on rayon as well, I will note. But I will also note, we're sort of making a bit of rayon. I had taken the time to set up rayon. Is this even operating at peak? The answer to that is no. Why is the answer to that no? Ah, it needs more sulfuric. It needs more sulfuric to keep it going, but... What was that you were saying about how much sulfuric you need, Immortal? What was that you were saying the other day about the amount of sulfuric acid that's needed? I happen to remember complaints about how much sulfuric is needed. Sulfuric, salt, sodium hydroxide, like 3 rather annoyingly huge amount of things. Huge demands for all those things. Huge demand for zinc as well in the late game. I'm going to take this road. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make additional roads. I want... this road to exist. That'll keep my Constructobots busy as the available number shoots down to 0. Note that I have thought ahead as of the last stream and put down a buffer box somewhere here. I put down a buffer warehouse to fill it with aluminium tiles so that my logistics robots will take the aluminium tiles as they're being produced further down on the bus part of the base. Way down, like here-ish, somewhere in here. The logistic bots will fly 50k units into the actual buffer box that I have up closer to where I'm actually placing the stuff, and the construction bots will pull from the closest source, which will be that buffer box. Helps save the construction bots some time, so that the construction bots don't have to do all of that flying, especially since I have significantly more Logibots that are available. Significantly more Logibots. Must have more coffee. Now, this will be our initial gold. I'll need to actually start using gold at this point. Which, basically means it's time to start working towards Circuit 3s. This is gonna be a mission, I think. I wanted to scale Circuit 2s. In fact, I am going to have to scale Circuit 2s, because they are going to be used directly in the Circuit 3 chain. But, yeah, this is gonna take a while. And gold is needed along the path, so am I even, like, on the right track here? I think so. Right here, this is my destination. So we've got hydrogen peroxide in, we've got sulfuric acid, we've got ammonia, we've got cyanic, we've got chlorine, the water, the oxygen, the fuel, the voiding of the excess chromium plates, which, I will absolutely make sure that I do a proper setup on that. So, this line is going to be chromium plates. Once the box fills, which it will at some point, I'll void excess plates that get produced out of this. So, that just leaves chromite solution in. Which chromite solution is being made right... Well, it's being processed here. I can now remove that. And there we go. It's moving. It's alive! It's alive. By the way, you don't have any gravel. Why? Because it's not requesting from buffer. Gravel. Come thither. Deliver 8 out of 10k. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to be constantly making gravel in various locations. I'm apparently not making enough gravel. Isn't that wonderful? Nowhere near enough gravel to feed my glorious stone wool. If you haven't seen my stone wool yet, this is stone wool. And yes, it is limited by the gravel. You know what? I am just done with this. I am just done. Where is my... Bring me my sand extractors. How many, Make sure I have plenty of those as well. We're going right in here. We're going to make sticks. Productively. And we're sand extracting gravel. You use the stone recipe. Well, given the choice between the stone recipe and the gravel recipe, I chose this one because this recipe exists. That's why I chose it, is just because this recipe exists. And it gave me crushed quartz and iron oxide, along with the gravel. So it's not just the gravel that I want out of all of this. I will want the quartz and use it as a primary supply of wonderful and beautiful, glorious iron oxide. And I think that offsets the cost of the creosote through tar. Yeah, that's fine. Besides, I've got like a ton of iron plates right now. Literal tons of iron plates right now. Alright, have you brought me these? Come on, boys. Come on, my bots. Bring me the sand extractors. Wherefore art thou? Sand extractors. Now, the strangest thing is, if you hover over the thingies here, it will highlight the bots in the map view that are actively carrying the things towards you. Thing is, most of the time, your inventory sort of covers the entirety of the screen. At least it should be highlighting what is coming towards me. And it does this as well, no matter what, if you're looking at a requester chests. If you're looking at a requester chest, it'll put a little green square around bots doing the active delivery. Still, where are you? Where are you coming from? Oh, you know what? They're probably coming from a box all the way up here. Somewhere. There's a box over here, this vicinity on the left-hand side, that has a bunch of Mark II sand extractors. Does not look like Pi is here today. Not for this stream, anyway. Pyanodon usually makes it for the Sunday streams, not the weekday streams. Prior engagements, I think, on these days. Very rarely does come, though, on these days. They are... Well, I've got... Alright, so they brought me those. What about these? There they are. Well, there we go. How many? Gravel. Productively. How much gravel? For you? Up to 6? You're not making 6. By the way. That's just like 2 of these. Alright, I'll take it. Here comes the gravel. You don't need to exist anymore. Hey, we've got gold. It's non-zero amounts of gold. Gold. Chromium-based gold. I technically already had gold. Because I was using it to make... Oh. Right. That would be a slight problem. That might be a slight problem. Yeah. Do I request... I hope I'm not I'm requesting. Yep. So I'm doing particle accelerated uranium. And that's going to consume gold. All of my gold. If I had the proper amount of proton donors. I don't have a lot of proton donors right now because of a lack of boron. Which is actually from a lack of this stuff. So yeah, everything is moving. We are good. Well, yeah, that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to put a buffer. This is going to be a buffer chest, and that way they're not going to pull out of this chest. Now, the other thing that I will absolutely have to do is you will remember that I pulled up that evaporator. Yeah, that needs to exist again. Except this time... and this was here, so it's on... this belt line. I don't think this is going to be a problem, but it might be. So what I have to do is I have to put that evaporator back. To make chromite sand from solution, but it will be... basically, it'll be behind a overflow valve. Really? Well, alrighty then. You are overflowing already. Sure. I'll use excess. Why is it overflowing? Like, is this not enough, even with Mark II mixer? Like, have I not made enough? It might just be going through backup. Taking care of a backup. What's the math on this again? You do chromite solution. I don't know. I forget. I have to redo the math to determine exactly how much in it's supposed to be. How is this looking? Well, they got 2 more there to place. It's building. I can say that much with certainty. Oh. Yeah, that would help. That would help. That'll allow them to build the rest of this. As it stands, is there anything blocking them from placing things? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, they should be able to finish constructing this just fine. Just like they were able to put all of the wires down that needed to go down. Note that I have connected the internal power grids to each other, as well as, of course, the external power grid. So all of the solar panels that have been placed are powering all 3 of these. And that, in particular, helps out with making sure that as things are built here, that they continue to have power. Well, that is gold. Taken care of. Why are you not moving? 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 Oh, right. Our absolute favorite bottleneck. The #1 bottleneck that affects the mid-game. Going into the late game. Good ol' Nichrome. Our good friend Nichrome strikes again. Now, the thing about beacons is you sort of need beacons. And you sort of need the actual modules to feed the beacons. I am currently short 2,000 efficiency modules. I am short close to 800 speed modules. And over 120 productivity modules. I'm also short by 175 solar panels right now. So you need modules, and you need the beacons. How many beacons have I made? 38. Or like 40, I don't know. Let's have a look-see at wherever the heck they put beacons in this list. Here. We've got 29 in logistics storage plus 10. So 39 total beacons. Let the game run overnight. No. No, because we're not currently... I don't have my permanent setups for aluminium yet, nor do I have something permanent for... Well, I do have permanent iron, but this would die if I left the game running overnight. Lots of things would die, actually. Oh, that reminds me. We have a problem with, niobium. There's a problem with niobium. Do you see the problem? I see the problem. There's a problem with niobium. All my salt mines are tapped out. They're dead. All 4 salt mines are dead now. All 4 salt mines on the original niobium are dead. These are dead. Salt is dead. So, all of the niobium processing here in this location is gone. So anything going up to the bus from here is just dead. Now, I did, however, note that there was another bottleneck, and that was with hydrogen chloride. So now I hooked up off-screen the hydrogen chloride, and I have, of course, lots of niobium complex now. So our issue here is this is fine. Yes, with fire going on in the background. Yes, this is fine. This is actually fine because I am making niobium here. And I have plenty of stuff to actually process this. I need even more. I need even more. In fact, I have more complex, so I could actually do even further processing. Like, do even more with the stuff. I can, like, double this, basically. But here's part of the problem. There are things that are on the bus that need niobium. Processes that I would like to keep moving. Processes that include stainless steel on the bus. That would be great, considering as how stainless steel from the bus is what's feeding blue science / not feeding blue science anymore. Now, I could take care of that. Simple enough. That's very close, that location, to my robots. So, what I know right now is that I have a box full of stainless steel on my network, being made from my high-grade processing of iron. So I'm just going to go down and switch the provider chest on my stainless steel down here at my bus's termination point to a requester chest, and I'm just going to request a bunch of stainless steel in this chest, and it will, the bots will fly it in, and I'll reverse the belt line and take it down to where it's needed. So that's a simple enough fix to the stainless steel, as long as I can figure out which one of these lines is stainless steel. And that is a mission in and of itself. Which of these several lines is stainless steel? Which of these empty lines is stainless steel? Now, since I know it goes into blue science, I just have to follow it to here, right next to Aramid. You are the winner. Stainless steel, all of it. Really? Really? Ah, frustrations. So as it turns out, you need to actually be holding onto a unit of yellow belt to reverse a yellow belt. The easy way. Pyrite. This is a flight time issue, by the way. On the pyrite, I've got lots, and I need to request from Buffer on the iron oxide because I have plenty of iron oxide. So that is not going to be my limiting factor here. I'm not even concerned whether or not I can do productivity here. Because I just have such an abundance of stuff. I'll take the speed over the productivity there. Alright, you give me, like, a stack so that I have some. So that I can actually reverse this belt. If I can draw a straight line for the life of me. Oh, hello. What is that going to? That is the blue science. Cool. What else is directly using stainless steel? I think that's the only thing. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think that's the only thing? That is the only thing. Yeah. Follow the snake of the belt. Yep. Yes, the mall is using it, but the mall is bot-based. So the bots are pulling in from the network, from where I'm doing the stainless steel out of high-grade iron processing. So this is actually more efficient use of the stainless steel. Because now what's going to happen is that the iron from down here, the mined iron, will be used a lot less. In fact, it's not going to even be making stainless steel here anymore. No niobium is going to come in, and I don't need the stainless steel, the molten stainless steel, which means I'm going to have more molten steel available. Perhaps even backing up, or not, or not, but I'll have more steel overall. And the actual iron... yeah, I need to move those miners. I sort of do need this steel, by the way. I am making more steel. How is the steel? Well, that's 17k available. Interesting. Why are they pulling from all of these? And then just not here? Huh. I guess that's my steel demand. Anyhoozle. So that makes sure that the stainless steel can go into my wonderful and glorious blue science. There's actually circuits being made. Now, I need to take care of this. The inductor 2s are ferrite. Are bottlenecked via ferrite. Off screen, I did help with this, I thought. No. No, I did not. What I helped with was, zinc acetate issue down there. Yeah, that's what I helped with, was a zinc acetate issue. Not enough methanol was coming in here, because somehow there wasn't enough methane. Like, huh? Not enough methane? So nichrome. Yeah, the perpetual problem. The absolute nightmare substance. So many issues with the nichrome production. Right now, the bottleneck is actually molten nickel. So, high-grade nickel, I guess, is on the agenda, which, guess what the tutorial is that's coming up next? Yeah, the next tutorial is nickel. And it's been a long time since I built the thing for that tutorial. I built the setup through sintered nickel already on the tutorial save, but it was a very long time ago. A powerful loop for what? Nickel? You stopped at pulp 4 on nickel, okay. What are all the outside inputs on... high grade? Well, biofilm we've got... Biofilm we've got... Chromium! Yeah, we've got plenty of that. And syngas. Oh, more Aerofloat. That's wonderful. More Aerofloat. Is this the one that actually, like, really uses the Aerofloat? Because the other processes, the chromium and the zinc processing, they use, like, trace amounts of Aerofloat. Is this one that actually... Oh, yeah, this would be one that really uses Aerofloat, I would think. Oh, plus steam. That's great. That's fantastic. Pulp 3. Ammonium chloride. I have ammonium chloride. I have a full box of ammonium chloride, actually. I have a full box of this. Sitting... Could I please move this? Right here. This stuff. Yeah. I have a box of this stuff sitting around. Is this a ridiculous amount of sand? I think this might be a ridiculous amount of sand, but it would have been cut down recently by half? So it's no longer a ridiculous amount of sand. The nickel tailings, methanol, well, I'll be building this near my methanol pipe, so that'll be fine. The slime. Xylenol, okay, that's fine. Ooh, glycerol. Glycerol. Yeah, glycerol. That's a thing. Aluminium pulp 2? Aluminium pulp 2. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I had done the math on this a long time ago. This is like such a minuscule amount. Like, this is such a low amount. It's like not even worth. Lots of Xylanol. Yes. Yes, lots. Equal amounts of to the slime that you put in on the Xylanol. So yeah, that's probably going to be the pain point. Nickel pulp 1. Oh, come on. Stop. My Alexa dot thinks when I say nickel that I'm saying the activation word, which is not nickel. Water pressured air, that's fine. Salt, limestone, and then G4, which I think I'm doing G4 now, plus sulfuric. Okay. Ball mill on G4. How far am I going currently? G4. Alright. So, methanol, glycerol, Aerofloat 15 are the big ones. Yeah, you get pulp 2, which is free pulp 2 without needing any phosphorus or phosphoric acid. The phosphoric acid is used on the pulp 1 phase, so if you're getting a product that's pulp 2, it's good, but it's not a lot of pulp 2. You can't really get as much plates out of it as you can doing the actual aluminium processing. So, yeah, as I said, the issue here on the nichrome is not actually the amount of chromium, because I'm doing pulp 7 processing of chromium right now, so I have all the molten chromium I could ever desire. I don't have the nickel. And the nickel, while I am making it out of tar and hydrogen, the amount of tar consumed for this, the overall footprint involves 3 of the mushroom setups. So 3 of my 2x2s of mushrooms making coal to feed into this 2x2 just to get 15 per second of ore. So it's basically 4 2x2s for the ore itself plus the 2x2 of processing. So if I can do high-grade processing, that essentially makes this space produce more molten for me out of this amount of space. If I can get more molten out of my 5 squares here, my 5 2x2s, that would be most ideal. In the alternative, I can just copy paste and have more molten through grade 4, but yeah, so super alloy is more nickel, right? Yeah. Why 50 nickel per alloy? That seems like it's off by a factor of 10. Same with chromium. Why 20 chromium? Yeah, that seems like it's off by a factor of 10. Considering how much super alloy you need. You end up with 5, though. 10 nickel per alloy. 10 nickel per alloy. Factor of 2, not 10. Off by a factor of 2, not 10 on the nickel. We've already gotten some balancing done with super alloy, specifically the molybdenum trioxide. Specifically changed for the production through the molybdenum chain itself. Because that was a nice idea that he implemented that I presented on the molybdenum trioxide. I said double the molybdenum trioxide output of the molybdenum chain and then require twice the amount on casting it into plates, so that you end up with the same overall-ish output. Yes, it gets affected by productivity modules, but it helps with your output of the molybdenum trioxide for the super alloy, because you need a lot for super alloy. Yeah, that was my idea, by the way, giving the extra molybdenum trioxide. But still, that's a fair amount of nickel and chromium here. Now, what's the ratio of nickel and chromium in nichrome? What's the ratio of nickel and chromium in nichrome? Because if it's 5-2... Hold up. Nichrome. 10-8. $10.8 on this recipe. What about the... Am I carrying around any furnaces? Of course not. Down here somewhere. Here. What about this recipe? Well, I'm just... Immortal, my thought is, if it's requiring chrome and nickel, why not remove the chrome and nickel plates and just replace it with nichrome? If you're spending chrome and nickel, why not just make it nichrome on your super alloy? Like, instead of 50 nickel for 5 and 20 chromium, make it like, I don't know, 15, 20 nichrome instead of both of those. That's an idea for Pyanodon to think about. Well, my argument is based off of, you know, logical sense, which most of this mod pack makes logical sense. With relatively few exceptions. What even is super alloy supposed to, like, be, anyway? Most of the stuff in this mod is supposed to be similar to real-life processes. What is super alloy technically supposed to be? Because if it's just some random made-up thing for the purpose of being some difficult-to-make random made-up thing for the purposes of going into the further end game, then I would say it doesn't matter whether or not it uses nickel and chrome versus nichrome, and it would make more sense using nichrome. Probably about 15 or 20 nichrome. Where am I even going, and what am I doing right now? I'm thinking. Thinking is what has been going on lately. Have my dudes finished this yet? Aye, they have. Not the, thingies, but they have at least placed all of this stuff. The actual power production is done, so we should be good now. We should be good for up to, like, 5. I hope. I hope. Good to 5. Alright, so what are the buildings I need? I need buildings. Buildings! Lots of buildings. And I also need to, like, redesign this whole thing. Can I even fit the high-grade processing in my 2x2 the way I have it currently set up? Probably. Probably. Oh yeah, and for some reason, this just is not enough. Please bring more. I have more. Bring more. Because I'm also being bottlenecked because of the stupid borax coming in. The input on the borax. I'm also being limited here. Upgrade those to level 2, please. Am I carrying around any? I am. Doink, 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 and doink. This is the effect of changes in high fusion energy with the introduction of the Mark II, 3, and 4 buildings. The base versions slowed down. Do I even have enough burners? I think so. Do I need to, like, balance you? Probably not. They're chewing through the backup now, so that'll help. It will help matters a bit. Good to see that there is a non-zero amount of nichrome. And that all of my molten thereabouts is going that way. Here comes the borax! All of my beautiful Mark II Logibots. There's a whole bunch of the Mark II Logibots. That should make Pi happy, seeing someone actually at the Mark II bots. What'll make me happy is when I see them as blue high-tech bots. That's what will make me happy. Seeing the blue high-tech bots whizzing by. Okay. Grade 4 nickel processes into prepared nickel pulp in hydrocyclones. Of course I'm not carrying around a hydrocyclone. You. Bring me hydrocyclones. Get rid of these crackers. Don't need all those flotation cells. That's why. Alright, see you, Sniper. See you later. Okay, Hydrocyclone is first. Prepared nickel pulp into pulp 1 in agitators. Have agitators. Pretty sure I have agitators. Yeah, in agitators. Flotation. I'm just gonna make notes here. Hydro, cyclone, agitator, flotation. To make the pulp 2. Nickel overflow out of pulp 2. Leaching station. I'll also note centrifugal pan. The Xylenol's going to need DDCs. And I guess I'll also need chemical plants for H2SO4. DDCs for Xylenol. The nickel overflow goes into nickel tailings, which feed back slime, which goes into overflow. So that's a geometric series right there. You get your slime into overflow, you get slime from overflow. So that's geometric. I already have the methanol. This is in a methanol reactor. So then the tailings from here into pulp 3 in scrubbers. Pulp 3 into pulp 4 in flotation again. Not looking at the aerofloat, I will bring in what I'm already producing of that. Nickel 4 into prepared solution in wet scrubber. Prepared solution into high grade with biofilm in a filter. A lot of high grade gets made in filters, I've noticed. That might actually just be a thing. High grade is made in filters with either filtration media or biofilm. And I've got biofilm, so this should be fine. That's not too bad overall. That's not too bad. So what am I missing of all of those things? I've got flotation, I need leaching. Yeah, I need the leaching station here. Probably need more methanol reactors. Nah, that should be fine. Scrubbers and wet scrubbers. I'll have to wait until I get my leaching station. So I will need the wet scrubbers. I have the filters. I need the centrifugal pan. So scrubbers and centrifugal pan, I think. And that's it. And wet scrubber. Alright, let's start setting things up. Now, first off, I have to calculate how much G4 I have. through this whole process. So going down, let's see, 15 to 3. All right, 3. That's actually pretty common. 15 to 3. Going into G1 across the board, most everything will go have that 15 to 3 ratio. So let's see, 3. Oh, only 2. All right, 3 into 3G2 and 1.5G3. How much you want to bet it's going to be 3G3 in the end? Actually, no, because you also get the you get 1.5 reject, 1.5 G2, and 0.75 G3. 0.75 G1, geometric series. And you... Wow, this is... Okay. Math time. Time for a math lesson. So, solving for geometric series. Our initial input of G1 is 3. So, no matter what, it's 3. It will always be divided in half, so already the ratio is 0.5 going forward. 0.5 going into G2. And then it is 0.5 again here to get back your G1. So it's half of half, or a quarter. So the actual amount back is 1 minus 0.25 or 0.75. That's the ratio. So then it's 3, your initial, divided by 0.75, which is 4. So there are 4 G1 nickel in total. 4 after this geometric series, if I've done the math correctly. So 4 G1 in is 2 rejects out. So as long as this is able to process 2 rejects... Oh, and then we have another geometric series. So we've got... Oh, we've got series on top of series here. Alright. Oh joy. Oh bliss. Another 50%. Isn't that the same? Yeah. Except this is 3 rejects for half. Oh boy. 3 rejects at a 50% chance. So if that's already 50, what's 50 divided by 3? Divided by 6. 8.33% times, divide, U? Divide by 100 plus 0.25. Okay, that makes sense. 1/3. Three divided by 2/3. Yeah, it's 3 divided by 2/3. 4.5. Okay. 4.5. That is our G1 in total after the geometric series. I think. After doing this math, basically in my head with a calculator next to me, 4.5 is G1 in total, which means 1.125 G3 out. 1.125 G3 out. Therefore, why I need 2 ball mills here. Although I could upgrade these to a G2 and be done with it, excuse me. G2 and save space. Unless and until we have additional geometric series here. So, this is a 1-to-1. It absolutely is a 1-to-1. So 1.125. 1.125 is what we will go with going forward. I just want to make note of that. 1.125 G4. From 15 ore per second in. How-to math. Yes, this is definitely a how-to math. Assuming I have done the math even remotely close to correctly. Now, what did we say was first? The hydrocyclone, right? I should have both of these, so give me my wet scrubbers and what was the other one again? The centrifugal pan? That one. Starting with our hydrocyclone. Making glorious prepared pulp. We will need 2 of these. Excuse me. Oh. Place the thing, thank you. Now that is times 50. Times 50. So 1.125 times 50 is 56.25 on the prepared pulp. Prepared pulp. Next step is in an agitator. Now, where do I want to put it? Where do I want to put it? That's a good question. We've got space. We've got space with which to put things. I'm going to do this, like, over here, I guess. Nickel pulp 1. Stop. Yeah, yep, the dot said sorry. It's not sure. Alright, so 1 should be enough. And it is a 1-to-1, so that means we will have 56.25 pulp 1. I will, of course, request these 2 things. Logistics-wise, I will do this, that, that. Those will be voided or something, or made into Xylenol some way, shape, or form down the line. You don't need solids in. Nope. Good. That will be perfectly fine. Request additional things to make sure that you have enough to take care of flight times and all that good stuff. Next is the flotation cell. This will be right below. You there, make pulp 2 out of pulp 1. That alignment is atrocious, and you need to be down one more. Yeah, this alignment is atrocious. You're going to be moved over to there. So that I can do that, that, and that. That is just water and pressured air. That is fine. I need 2 of these. Or a speed module. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to go the route of a speed module. Yeah, a speed module is fine here. That will take care of that. Because remember, it is 56.25 of the pulp 1. And that will mean 56.25 of the pulp 2. Next step is the centrifugal pan. No, next step is the leaching station. Leaching! Have you brought me leaching? Yes, you have. Right there. Beautiful, glorious leaching station. Why? Yeah, stuff and things. Cannot insert. Alright. Sure. Glycerol in. Pulp 2 in. Needs thingy. It's not a lot of glycerol, fortunately enough. That is 18. That might not actually be too bad. But, for now, it shall die. Of course, glycerol in, and why do you have to be there? Why does... This should be the nickel overflow. This should be the glycerol. Oh, boy. Because now, what I have to do is, like, weird shenanigans. Oh, hey, here comes the Mark II. Mark II bots. Nickel overflow. Now it's the centrifugal pan. Have you brought me the centrifugal pans? You have. By the way, this is another 1-to-1. So, nickel overflow. My little Alexa Dot keeps on thinking that I'm calling it every single time I say nickel. This halves. So finally, we have a difference here. But we also have a geometric series coming up soon. With the overall nickel overflow. So our next 2 steps, or our next steps, are going to be involving this this geometric series. Once we get the slime, which I think comes in this next step with the methanol reactor. I'll just place it down, yeah. Nickel overflow into slime and tailings. I will note that I have to have this. 56.25 is 28.125 of nickel. Oh, that's wrong. Right. It's nickel overflow into slime and tailings, and then it's this. Oh boy. So it's not this next, it's this next. Yes, slime and things. Okay. Again, it's half, so the math stands. It's, overflow is 56.25, and it is halved, so that's a 50%. This will produce half of overflow, so we are now looking for the sum total of nickel overflow in terms of how we're going to complete the rest of this math. This is the next geometric series. Now, if we start with 56.25, that is our S. The ratio, you start, divide in half. So you already have a division by 2. To get your slime. In this case, we're looking at the slime. The slime is then cut in half again on its feedback, so that means you end up with 25%. That is your ratio, a 0.25 of your initial. Now, when solving for this geometric series, it is 1 minus 0.25, and then you divide your initial by that 1 minus your ratio. So 1 minus 0.25 is 0.75, which means that our 56.25 is divided by 0.75, which is equal to 75. Which is equal to 75. That is what the sum is in total. In total, as t approaches infinity, or whatever. I see a jumping spider. Hello. It's on the ceiling. You are a spider. Hi. Don't like drop on me. That would be bad. That would be really bad. Anyway, moving on. Now, if I do 56.25 times 1.25, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. 75. As cycles approach infinity. Ooh, that's another point that needs to be made. This needs to be behind an overflow valve. There is a very similar situation to this in the zinc processing chain, and let's just say that I need this overflow valve here in order to avoid deadlocking when / if this system begins backing up. It can potentially deadlock on this nickel overflow step, which is why I have to take care of it in this way right now. Xylenol in as well on this one. methanol in on this one, and this produces nickel tailings. So I need to make note that it is actually 70.3125 of the NO, and that gets cut in half, or no, it's 75 of the NO in total, and that 75 divided by 2 is 37.5 of our nickel tailings in the end. Actual good numbers that aren't really long decimals? Like, what the hell? That doesn't happen very often. Alright, next, after methanol reactor is scrubber. Glorious scrubber action. By the way, I need to actually make sure that this can process 75 units. Yeah, that would be ideal. Make sure that you can actually process at least 75 units. This should be able to process enough. There we go. Alright, scrubber, you are next. You are making pulp 3. You will need a requester chest. Take all the stuffs. Do I even have that much? I do have that much sand. That's a fair amount of sand. That's a fair amount of sand. Oh boy. You will also not need any speed. You do not need speed. It is a 1-to-1. So that will be 37.5 pulp 3 as well. Whoops. There we go. Next. Flotation. Flotation! Again. Hello, float. Floater! For pulp 4. You need to go down a bit. There we go. You there. You thar. 1 is enough. 1-to-1. Just add a fair amount of aerofloat. Yeah, that's a fair amount of aerofloat. That's a pretty fair amount of airflow. Yeah. I figured as much, that it would be a fair amount. It's not 25, granted, but it's, yeah, still not 0. Not like sub 10, like most of the other processes. This is definitely going to be over 10 units of the Aerofloat 15 required for this. Need to note that you have a tailings as well. Next is the wet scrubber. The glorious wet scrubber is next to do nickel prepared solution out of chromium syngas. And our pulp 4 also produces tailings. Needs chromium as an input. I've got plenty of that stuff. And then it's just the filter. Filter at the end to make high-grade nickel with biofilm. Now let's just make sure I keep up with the math. That's 1-to-1, that's 1-to-1, that's all 1-to-1, so pulp 3, 1, pulp 4, P4, into the thingy here. Nickel prepared solution, NPS. And then what is the ratio here? Alright, it is divide by 100. Alright. 37.5 divided by 100. 0.375. That is much high-grade nickel one gets out of 15 per second of nickel ore in. 0.375. According to my math. Is it good math? I don't know. We'll find out in practice once all of the logistics are done, which we have about 45 more minutes left in the stream with which to actually do the logistics work for all of this. Because I already have all of the outside inputs for this. I have every single one of the outside inputs already. Maybe I'll set up some fresh sulfuric, as I've been doing, I think, lately. Up to 90 pressured air. And it'll need about that much. It's processing 56. So that'll be 2 glorious pressure pumps. I'm gonna put them like here. Yeah, I'll put them there. That'll give 80 of the up to 90. Actually, I think I'll still need one more. There we go. That guarantees I have enough pressured air. Well, that was nice. That's been nice. I need a source of steam, which... Actually, that's super simple. I've got processes that involve fluids with fuel value here. So that makes my life a heck of a lot easier. Because I can just grab oil burners. And we'll be good. Now, what do I still need to hold on to? Not really much of anything. I will need more of these, most likely. I think it's you that does the nickel. Of course it's not you. Is it still the Boffs? Is it still the Boffs? Maybe. Maybe. Hey, Boff. Molten nickel. Yes, it is Boffs all the way. Boffs all the way. So, let's see here. How much molten nickel will we get out of our 0.35 or 0.375? 0.375. Well, this is simple. This is 180 times 0.375. No, it's not. It's 0.375 per second. So that's 180 over 3. If it's 60 per second at 1 times 0.375, that is 22 and a half. What? How much am I making now? $1.125. 18.75 is how much I'm making right now. Hello! Hello, you're here for the final 40 minutes of the stream. I've done my math a little wrong. Maybe. Or I'm just not looking at it right. I might not be looking at it right. I will need to wait for one of these boffs to arrive to actually look at the real math. As far as I'm aware, this is 0.375. As far as I'm aware, this is 0.375, but it might not be. In the meantime, in the interim, I should have... My methanol pipe should actually be nearby. There. It goes that way? Yeah, hello. Methanol! I am just in the middle of finishing the logistics work of high-grade nickel in my attempt to increase the overall output of my nichrome. That is what I am attempting here. And chances are I have done something wrong with my math along the way, but we shall find out. We shall find out very shortly. Once I get a free basic oxygen furnace. You know what? I could actually take one of these, because one of these isn't even needed. I only get 1.125 of the G4, so I don't even need 3 of these. Not even required. Alright, so. Having a look at high grade. Right, that's where I got my math wrong. Okay, that's where I got it wrong. I divided the molten correctly, but I didn't properly scale this into seconds. So, that's it. It's, so it is 0.375. So 60 over 0.3 repeating times 0.375 is 67.5 molten. 67.5 molten. That is how much molten we shall get. That is versus the 18.75 out of the G4 processing. So that's lovely. So one of you should be fine? Yes. So speed module in a single oxygen furnace will be enough to fully process my output here of the high grade. And that, as they say, will be that. I will, of course, need to adjust my logistics a bit on the oxygen if I want to keep this here. Otherwise, I could just belt it up to there, but eh. And I will, of course, need fuel. go ahead and just request some Coke. That'll be the fuel. I need steam and aerofloat brought in. I've got... That is not what I wanted here. Oops. Whoopsies. This is supposed to be, methanol. Yeah, methanol. Get all these pipes down. There we go. Methanol! Glorious and beautiful methanol. Hook that right up. There you go. Methanol will also be used in the production of this glorious steam. Oh really, I don't have any more deep water wells. That sucks. I always am out of my wells when I need them. Such is always the way. There we go. Okay. Xylanol, glycerol, and Aerofloat 15, and sulfuric acid. 30 minutes to set up all 3 of those. 30 minutes to set up, or all 4 of those. / do the logistics for all 4 of those. Well, this one is going to just be... Go to my titanium setup here. Do I want to pipe in petroleum? I think I will. And we'll just grab some of this. Because it's not like am particularly in need of tons of space. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will not be enough sulfur to feed the 5. It'll be a bit, but it won't be enough. That's that. Get, So, petroleum I've got right up in here. I've got just a bit of, petroleum in existence. And ideally... I can bring some of this down. Once I bring this down, I have to bring Xylanol over. Interesting how this is like right next to my methanol. Alright, let's do this here. This is the way. And as I said, this will be petroleum. Petroleum in. Once all of that is finished being set up. What is this? This is, yeah, this is petrol. What is this other you? What are you? No, seriously, what are you? Just a random empty pipe? To nowhere? Okay. Sure. Random empty pipe to nowhere. I do, however, need the oxygen. Ew. Well, it would have been convenient to actually run this oxygen. Actually, right near where that other one was, but it looks like I have to, do a little shenaniganry here. There's the oxygen. And the fuel. Oh, I need borax. Right. Borax. Yeah, bring me the borax. All the borax. I have all of the borax. Don't mind me. Okay, that's the H2SO4. That will be taken care of to feed this. Wow, that's actually a lot. That is actually a lot. I actually do need more than, what this can realistically make. Because this is supposed to be with, productivity modules. Yeah, that's a little less than 13.75. Well, I guess I can remove the request on the productivity modules. And that will be more than enough. Yeah, that'll be fine. That will be fine. Okay. Xylanol and glycerol and the Aerofloat. The Aerofloat I will pipe in from elsewhere. How much spare Xylanol do I have? I also have Xylanol being made somewhere around here. Somewhere. Xylanol, wherefore art thou? There. Hello, Xylanol. That is a full pipe. That is a completely full setup of Xylitol. So chances are I am making way more than I'm actually using in my my high-grade iron processing. So I will pipe it from here, just like I will be piping my Aerofloat 15, which is here. I have to actually look and see how much Aerofloat 15 and if I have an extra, like 15 of it, because I might want to make more. That's 2 pipes, and then I have to worry about the glycerol, which... that's just gonna be painful either way, I think. Glycerol... I'm just gonna do this. Chem plants! Oh look, more chem plants. Let's request some chem plants so that I have a bunch. Actually, using collagen. I can't believe it. I can't believe he's actually using collagen. Let's get these 2 routed up, and then we can see our non-zero high grade. Non-zero high grade should be pretty awesome. Let's see if that can happen within 25 minutes. I think so. This has been a progress-filled day, by the way, between getting the gold here, getting gold in non-zero amounts of gold. Why are you not moving? Nichrome, right. It's a little choked on nichrome. This is what got me to start making beautiful things, as in planning out and building out high-grade nickel on screen. A preview of what is to come in the tutorial that will be in 2 days from now. Today's tutorial, of course, being the zinc processing chain that will be going live later today. It is a short half-an-hour video, and I have a feeling that nickel will also be a relatively short video because there really is nothing here in this high-grade processing chain that is straight up new. Nothing here is straight up new in terms of the outside inputs, so chances are it'll just be like, I'll just say, hey, refer to all of these things. Oh my god, stop moving. Stop moving! Stop moving, no! Finally. God, I hate when that happens. Why do you have to move? Why do you have to move? I've gone too far. I've gone a little bit too far. So, Aerofloat 15 is right up here. This is my Pulp 7 chromium processing. Remember that the blue science gives you access to Pulp 7 in chromium, doesn't terminate with a high-grade step on chromium. Okay, right here. I'm just gonna say that I have enough and be done with it and not bother making more. I'm just gonna say that I have enough and hope that that's true. Hope that I'm not lying. Now I have to go to Xylitol. Sort of get these pipes merged together so that I can more easily route them at the same time. Xylitol being right there. You finally started your pie run. Excellent. Currently setting up red science. And your head is already hurting. Ah. Well, you see, I have a video, a tutorial for red science. Well, correction, I have 2 tutorial videos involving red science. The first one is actually the early game, how to start handcrafting red science, is basically what it is. It's pretty much how to start handcrafting red science, and then the second video is actually automating red science. That's the actual red science video. How to automate it. Yeah, I'm making a little bit of Xylanol here. Just a little bit of Xylanol is being made here. How much do I need? Dang it, I didn't look at this. I didn't actually look at this. How much Xylanol? It was 1-to-1. I remember on the Xylanol step, which is here. It is 1-to-1 to the amount of slime in, which is half of the amount of nickel overflow. 75 over 2 is 37.5. So 37.5 Xylanol is the answer. I think I have enough. Yeah, so the first tutorial that you should look for on the channel is the, I forget what I named it. Like, early game something? Early game something? What the heck is the name of that tutorial again? Let's see. It is precisely named the Factorio Pyanodon's Mods Pre-Science Walkthrough. That is the name of that video. The Pre-Science Walkthrough. That is starting up a fresh game and setting up everything that you need to start handcrafting your initial red science. After that, it is the red science automation overview for when you're thinking about actually setting up your red science automation. So those are the 2 videos for that. I do also have a green science tutorial, as well as a Circuit 1 tutorial, and a lot of ore processing tutorials. Alright, that can go that way. This, I guess I'll bring with it. Alright, now to get these 2, like, hooked up, synchronized. That will work. That will work. And the way that I build in the early game like that is, that will not work. Is with a main bus setup, so if you also want to have some ideas as to how to set up a main bus, that would definitely be the videos to look for. Now, all of the tutorials, the initial tutorials, the pre-science, the red science, the circuit ones, and the green science, not the green science, actually, but everything up through circuit ones is done on a save that was a fresh file that I started specifically to do the tutorials, and it is done without using like infinity mode or anything like that. So it is like actually me playing the game to that point for making those tutorials. So it's actually like playthrough type stuff in practice, how to do some of those things. Things like the ore processing, even the green science itself. Green science itself, I didn't use that save just because this save I haven't even touched. Am I off? Oh, I just didn't stand around for those. This save, I haven't touched my green science really, so I just did the tutorial for green science using this save. And I'll probably be doing a lot of the other chains with this save as well, or something similar to it with like, I don't know. I don't even know. Have I... Yeah, I've gone too far. I need to bring this here, so I need to actually go back to the previous intersection. Right here. Need to make a left-hand turn. And off we go. Now, hopefully I should have the chemical plants in my inventory now, so I can just set up glycerol. And we will be good to go from there. Now, my suggestion for the main bus, when you set it up initially, don't plan out any further than green science. That's how I have been approaching my base designs lately. Or just my thoughts on what to use for base designs lately. Only plan out that you will make a main bus through green science, immediately transition to a bot-based base, terminate your bus right after you finish green science, so that you aren't like me and have a bus that's this big going through Circuit 2s and blue science. If you want to know how big a bus gets in practice going up to blue science without transitioning to robots, that's it. And it's not even like fully built, all of its lanes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 by 4. 76 lanes of belt. "76 lanes of belt, not all of which are fully utilized, but 76 lanes of belt, like frickin' 40 some odd lanes of pipe. Lots of lanes of pipe as well. Don't do that. That is not a good idea. That is a lot of resources. Yeah, cumbersome. It's a lot of resources. At a stage of the game where you probably don't have a lot of resources. Yeah, it's at a stage of the game where you don't have the resources to spend that much amount of belt. Always, always attempt to conserve whenever possible. We're almost here. We're at our 2x2. Ha, go trains! Yes, my base has 0 units of rail. I am not a source to go to for any advice involving trains. I don't use trains. I do not use trains. I think they're boring. They are boring to set up. They are incredibly boring to set up. Therefore, I do not use them. And you have to be incredibly precise in your engineering of them. Hello, kitty. Hi. Hello. I can have these next to each other, right? Glycerol from collagen. I have LTN, I just never used it. Never thought to use it. Never planned on using it. How much glycerol? Oh. Pfft. How much glycerol do I need again? Oh. Oh. Yeah. Oh. I wish I had more. I wish I had more. I wish I had more of you. Yes, Kitty Cole is cute. He's unfortunately incredibly ill. As in, ill to the point where he will not survive for a ton more time. Still, it happens. He's over 10 years old right now, so can't really be too sad. We've had our time with Cole. I do not push my save games. I do not push my save games at all. He is a little over... He's like 10. He's like 10 years old. We don't know exactly how old he is, actually. We adopted Cole from a local SPCA. Well, a neighboring city's SPCA. And they assumed that he was a couple of years old, at least 2. Maybe, like, the vet later on said that he could be a little older than that. And we think that he might be a little older, and we've had him going on 8 years. at this point. So when I say he's about 10, he is about 10, so he is, with his illness, considered a senior cat. He is considered a senior cat. And he sure as heck acts like it, too. My weekend, my Sunday afternoon, was cleaning up after the senior cat. Alright, robots, bring me all of this collagen, this beautiful collagen, so that I can see some glycerol coming in here. And then I will have to route in the xylenol and the stuff and things. Oh, I spend all the quality time with the kitty. Every single morning he comes. I come down to the office, I sit in the chair, and he jumps up onto my lap, and we spend at least a half an hour of lap time. Every single morning. But yeah, his illness is well, his symptoms are consistent with cats with cancer in their intestinal region. We have not had testing done to know for certain exactly what it is, but he has growths in his intestinal region causing inflammation of his intestines. Which makes things very hard for him, especially since he also has arthritis along his entirety of his spine. So, arthritis in his back, plus inflammation of his intestines, and you can imagine the types of messes that we have to clean up all the time. Literally, yes. So that was my day Sunday. And there's, like, nothing that you can really do about it anyway, so... It's like, okay, yeah, this is just going to be the rest of his life. Alright, let's actually get this xylenol down. I'll bring it over here. Oh, how convenient. Then where does the aerofloat go? Where's that aerofloat going again? Somewhere down here. Right in... here. Excellent. That should be everything. That should be everything. I just need to do, like, the normal logistics here, tell that to go the opposite direction, and... oh, right. Yeah, so there's also this stuff that needs to be dealt with called tailings. In various locations along the way. I think there's at least one more that has tailings right there. Ugh. Where am I actually gonna put this? Alright. That... and... you? Ah, syngas. Oh boy, of course there'd be one more thing. I don't happen to have syngas nearby, do I? I should. Absolutely. Yeah, right there. It's always got to be one more thing, right? Always gonna be one additional thing to make things just that more complicated. Auto-saving! Wow, 264 hours. Alright, let's go and get all that done, because we're sort of choked without it. Cole also doesn't really groom anymore, either. So he ends up with lots of knots. Lots of matting. Relatively recently we got one of these things. This is a de-matting comb. He's a lot thinner now with that. A lot thinner now. I've gotten what I can from his sides and his back. He's let me cut away the mats and the knots from his back and his sides. Even on his chin and a little bit on his chest, but it's like, well, good luck on the belly, though. Good luck on the belly. That's... oh, hey, it's high grade! Hey, it's molten! We did it! Molten! All the molten on the planet exists now. Time for celebrations. Glorious, beautiful celebrations. I am actually going to connect this up to the nichrome, and we're going to call it a day. We are going to call it a day once I get this hooked up to that glorious and beautiful nichrome. Right here. Oh boy. Here it is. Oh. Wrong side of a thingy, huh? Scuzzy? Still? Oh. Yeah, that helps. Here comes the nickel! Now, ideally, as everything goes through, this will start operating 100% of the time. I wish. So, congratulations! We good. We good! High grade! High grade! Nickel processing. That's it. That's how you do it. That's the high grade nickel processing. And if I did my math right, which it looks like I didn't, This is a bit more than I was expecting. Oh god, thingy. Thingy! Yeah, I hate when the answering machine goes off. Nichrome is incredibly important. Nichrome is incredibly important. But so is nickel plates, because I will be needing the nickel plates for the super alloy in particular. It's 10 nickel plates per unit of super alloy. It just happened to be that my bottleneck on nichrome, which there is a huge demand for nichrome overall, I needed additional stuff and things. I needed additional stuff and things together. Both the stuff and the things. Needed a lot more of both the stuff and the things. So, yeah, molten nickel is happening. Lots of it is happening now. Plenty of it is happening now. So, what got done today? What got done today was gold, as well as way more molten nickel through high-grade nickel processing. Off-screen was high-grade titanium processing, filling up a whole bunch of glorious titanium chests, as well as finishing off high-grade zinc processing. I have lots of high-grade zinc now. Just like I now have production of gold! Glorious gold. Gold. Which needs nichrome. Which needs nichrome. Why are you not moving? No, seriously, why are you not moving? Oh, yeah, ammonia. Ammonia! Ammonia, I am in need of ammonia. And I have too much cyanic. I figured this would happen. I would end up with more cyanic than I would ammonia, and yeah, so I just need to like vent excess here. Do that into that, and that will be fine. With that, I would like to thank everyone for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat. If you are watching the VOD on YouTube, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you're so inclined, head on over to twitch.tv/OtakuShowboat to leave a follow and turn on notifications to be reminded when I go live. Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to approximately 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. This coming Thursday, of course, is more of the Morrowind playthrough. It'll be Morrowind Day 3. I will be back with more Factorio on Sunday. The tutorial going live later today, as I've been saying, is the zinc tutorial that will be followed on Thursday by the nickel tutorial. You can follow me on Twitter at OtakuShowboat, visit my website at otakushowboat.com, and help support my continued existence on Patreon at patreon.com/OtakuShowboat. You can also help support Pyanodon's mods development at patreon.com/Pyanodon, and you can help to support my growing community by joining my Discord server, the link of which will be below the video, or if you're watching live on Twitch, it is !Discord for that link. Otherwise, you can just type in bit.ly/OtakuDiscord. Discord? To get that invite if you would like to hang out, to get like live notifications of announcements and videos and live streams and all of that via Discord. And I hope to see you all on Thursday.